Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. Hello, welcome back to Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. I'm your host, Big Les. Let's get stuck into your Origin Decider preview. Very lucky to be going to this game as well. So if you guys are going to be there, let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you there. But let's get stuck into this one. Obviously, a few changes for both sides, pretty minuscule ones. Only the reserves changing for New South Wales. As for Queensland, though, a few changes in the side with a few injuries and whatnot happening in this one. Let's get stuck into it, though. For the New South Wales Blues, same lineup here. Edwards at fullback, To'o Lomax wings, Crichton, Latrell centres. We've got Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary in the halves. Max King and Payne Haas up front. Reece Robson at 9. Liam Martin, Angus Crichton back row. Isaiah Yeo at 13. Watson, Lenu, Young, Utuwikamanu on the bench. Jacob Kiraz is the 18th man for this one. Lindsay Smith and Bradman Best join him on the reserves. For Queensland, with KP out with that Liz Frank injury, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow is the fullback. You've got Xavier Coates and Val Holmes on the wings. You have Rob Toya and Gurmat Shibasaki in the centres. Big call there. We'll talk about it in a second. Munster and Dearden in the halves. You've got Papali'i and Fasulumala Aoi in the front row. Harry Grant at 9. Ruben Cotter and Capewell in the back row. Trent Liero 13. Kurt Mann, Lindsay Collins, Paddy Carrigan, and Jeremiah Nanai on the bench. Reece Walsh, Jermaine Hopgood, and Josh Kerr are the reserves. So obviously a lot of changes to this Queensland outfit. Most notably, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow there at fullback. I think it's a big call, obviously moving him and bringing in Gurmat Shibasaki. But you look at the stats, you actually break down the year that Gurmat Shibasaki has had. He is probably the best or one of the best options there for centre. Yes, there's obviously more experienced guys you could have picked. There's Dane Gagai. There's a few other guys that could have come in and done a job. But Gurmat Shibasaki statistically is one of the better centres this season. Obviously, the second highest try scorer behind Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. So he's in there. I think he's going to do a great job. It's a great story as well for him, obviously coming into this side after being, this highly touted 21-year-old coming through the Broncos system, played a few games for them, then obviously goes to the Newcastle Knights, stuck in reserve grade, goes to Japanese rugby, then comes to South Sydney for an opportunity after spending some time at the Blackhawks as well. I think it's Townsville Blackhawks, I think they're called. And then he obviously gets the opportunity to go back to Brisbane on a train and trial deal. Plays, doesn't really have the best start to the preseason, but then as the preseason goes on and he works hard, he earns his opportunity to start over Dean Mariner, over a few other guys, which obviously created quite a stir, and he's come in and he's the second highest try scorer in the league. So massive turnaround and massive story for Gurmat Shibasaki, and very happy to see him get rewarded for that in this outfit. He's going to be dangerous. Obviously, that left-hand side is going to be a real threat. Whether it is Coates and Shibasaki, whether it is Valentine Holmes, keeping that left-hand side spot. You got to remember, obviously, Val Holmes moved into the centres in the last one on the left side. Does Val Holmes stay on the left? Obviously, there was a shift with Coates to go onto that left side in the last game. Do they stay to that? That's obviously going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens. My vote, though, would probably be that Val Holmes and Gurmat Shibasaki are together on the left edge. You'll see Rob Toya and Coates on the right side. But yeah, certainly a big call. And I think that Gurmat coming into the centres is a bigger call than Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow being picked over Reece Walsh. And it might sound dumb me saying that, but a lot of people would have had Reece Walsh at fullback. I certainly would have suggested it as well. But looking at Reece Walsh and the injury, it just sort of pulls me back. And I don't think it's a risk worth taking for Billy Slater. And I think that he feels the same way, obviously selecting Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. You're getting a guy that is, for the most part, fully fit, ready to go. He is playing some good footy, especially over the last few weeks in the fullback position. And you got to remember when Suaalii put that big hit on Reece Walsh and he went down in game 1 last year, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow goes to fullback and he basically carved us up single-handedly. He had some really good left-hand side raids and really put us under a lot of threat. I know that we were without a man for the entire game on that right side defence, but he still put us under a ton of pressure and pretty much carved us up single-handedly a few times going down that left-hand side. So he'll be a threat there at fullback. I think that he's going to try and do something very similar. We'll obviously have an extra man on that right-hand side, but Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, definitely a threat there at fullback for the Queensland side. I think the biggest threat, though, for Queensland is Cam Munster. Obviously, a lot happening for him. His father, Stephen, passing away, condolences. But I think that he's got a lot more to play for now. Just having that happen over the last week or so, him going back to see his family, he'd be playing out there for his family, he'd be playing out there for his old man. And I think that version of Munster, thinking of his family and obviously coming in with a lot more to play for now, it's probably the most dangerous version of Munster that we are going to get. And I'm really scared as a New South Wales fan, him coming back to play. It's a big call for him. It's a brave call for him, and it's a respectful one as well. You really do respect him for that. But at the same respect, you are going to get the most dangerous version of Munster in this sort of mindset coming into play for his family. It definitely scares me as a New South Welshman. I think that he is going to be definitely someone to watch here for Queensland in regards to just an absolute freak of nature, and I think that he's going to pull out the bag here and really test this New South Wales defence. So Cam Munster will certainly be a one to watch for me, a real dangerous Munster with a lot more to play for than just state pride. Josh Papali'i also coming into this side here in the front row. Big call as well. A guy that has been retired from rep footy for about the last 3 or 4 years. Coming back into this side for Queensland. Playing some really good footy for Canberra at the moment, who are at the top of the table at the moment. I think that it's a massive, massive in for them. I think that they've needed that alpha through the middle. Mo Fotuaika didn't have the best game one. Thought he had an okay game two. But obviously, Billy Slater, he wanted to bring in a guy like Josh Papali'i, and that meant someone had to miss out, in which case it was Mo Fotuaika. And Josh Papali'i, he's going to come in and absolutely kill it in that starting role. Him and Tino are really going to set the tone, and having that leader now through the middle. Tino's obviously a skipper at his club. He is a leader in himself. But to have that out-and-out veteran leader in Josh Papali'i there through the middle of the field, it's going to inspire guys like Tino and Trent Liera, who are starting to really play for it and open that first 20 minutes with some real aggression. And I think that's what we're going to see from Queensland through the middle of the park. And so too from guys like Kirk Capewell, who played outstanding in game two. Ruben Cotter, outstanding, really good defensively. These sort of guys are going to come out with a bit of fire in the belly in the opening 20 or so minutes, and maybe even for the opening 60 like we saw in Game 3 last year. Harry Grant as well, really good game, a really good redemption game for him from Game 1. In Game 2 there, he was really, really good. I think that he'll be a guy that, again, that tag of, when he starts, they generally don't go well. He's proved us all wrong in Game 2. I think he's going to come out and do it again in Game 3. Kurt Mann really thought he had an impact for Queensland coming on in that roaming role. Just really, really good leg speed and tough as well. Physical with his defence. I expect him to come on in a pretty similar fashion as well. Depends on how the game goes. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind him getting a little bit of a stretch there at 9. I think that with Harry Grant as well, you sort of don't want to, bake him out for the full 80 minutes and exhaust him. Having a guy like Kirk Mann that can come on in that role, I think is a really good blessing for Harry Grant to get a little bit of a spell and then come on around tired forwards and create absolute havoc. Paddy Garrigan and Nanai. Nanai didn't have too much of an impact coming off the bench. It sort of makes me think, do you start him like he did in Game 1? He was probably the best player for Queensland in Game 1. I know that you probably want to keep a very similar lineup to the side that you obviously won with in Game 2, but you've already made this many changes. And I think that Nanai, as I said, he has more impact starting and playing the full game rather than coming off the bench. Does maybe Ruben Cotter move to the bench before kickoff and we see Nanai start? I'd love to see it. I think that it could work quite well for Queensland. I think that, Nanai, as I said, he's most dangerous in that left back row pocket starting and just creating absolute havoc for Queensland. And Paddy Carrigan as well. I thought he was actually good coming off the bench. He sort of, missed out in the first 20, but then comes on and really sets the tone with his physicality and impact off the bench and then pretty much finishes the game. I think it'd be a very similar role for him in this one, Paddy Carrigan. I think that he was a lot more impactful off the bench than Nanai was, to be honest. Let's talk a little bit about New South Wales. I'm sick of talking about Queensland. Let's talk about New South Wales. In this one, I think that the key thing for me is going to be the forward rotation. In game 1, we saw Max King play 40 minutes. In game 2, he started and played 15, 20 minutes. I don't get it. I think that with Max King, he isn't the gerbo rotation guy. You don't play him for the first 15 and then leave him off for the rest of the game. Max King can play big minutes and he has a really good impact with his body. I think that you've got to start him for the first 20-odd, 25, and then bring him on for the last 20, 25. He's that sort of cat. I think they left Stefano on for way too long. Stefano's stint should be at least 15 to 20. That's it. That's the only time I'd be giving him throughout the game and just let him go skits. Like we even saw at the start of his stint for the Blues in game 2, the first 5-10 minutes was great. If we can just get that portion of his stint and then take him off, I think that's exactly what you need from Stefano, and it's all you need from Stefano, in my opinion. Spencer Leniu, the same. 15, 20-minute stint, just going absolutely nuts. It's all we really need. But for Stefano, I'd also be splitting it up in 2 because there were moments there against Queensland when they were getting the run of the mill. We sort of needed a Stefano to really break the game open. But then also in that respect as well, he did come on and got dominated as well. So he'll certainly be feeling the effects of that, and he'll be trying to come out and get on the front foot as soon as he gets on the field, though, for New South Wales. But in regards to the minutes, that's what I'm worried about here. Max King, his stint should be 35 minutes to 40 minutes because that's where he did his best work for game 1. Stefano, I'd be limiting him and Spencer Leniu to 15 to 20 minutes a game. Going into this one for the decider. I think that's where they do their best work. Payne Haas can play big minutes. Yowie can play big minutes. Those are the sort of guys I want on the field to create an impact and go forward for New South Wales. Nathan Cleary, I think this is going to be his game. Obviously, he knows that Munster's going to be coming out with a lot more to play for than just state pride. I think that Nathan Cleary needs to come out and have his moment. I don't think he's going to have it in the back of his mind. I don't think he's going to have all that in the back of his mind, but I think that he is going to come out and have his moment. I think that with Luai taking a bit of pressure off him, just like he did in the second half of game 2, I think that Nathan Cleary can really unlock himself in Origin and have a real big performance. I think that if we win or lose, it's going to be dependent on Nathan Cleary and how he plays in this one to the most part in the number 7 jersey. The forward battle is obviously going to be the key thing, but Nathan Cleary for me is going to play a big part in as to if we win or lose this game. His in-play kicking game was terrific against the Bulldogs the other week. If he can replicate that, I don't care if he goal kicks or not. I think if he can replicate his in-play kicking to the best of his ability like he did against the Dogs, we'll go a long way to winning this game. That long kicking game, early kicks as well, putting guys like Val Holmes under pressure when his kick returns. That's going to be the key thing for us. And then our kick chase, guys like Brian To'o and Critter and Latrell leading it and putting real pressure on these outside backs is going to be key as well. And Dylan Edwards just getting through a ton of work like he normally does. Luai and Cleary are going to be massive in this one for me. I think that they're going to be the key determinants for New South Wales as to whether they win or lose. Latrell Mitchell, a lot of people criticise his involvement. You could argue that Latrell Mitchell, when he did get involved, tries happened. Every time he touched the ball, he pretty much set a try for. Brian To'o, you'd want him to get a little bit more involved in this one, but in the same respect, this is why Latrell's in this side. He comes in for the big moments. He doesn't need to come in all the time. And that's why Latrell's in this side, and it's why he's one of the better centres in the game because, in the big moments, he will deliver 9 times out of 10. So that's what I want to see from Latrell Mitchell, just delivering and setting up tries and opportunities for his outside men, in particular Brian To'o. Really keen for this game. I think it is going to be a massive, massive forward battle. I'm keen to see if they can replicate that intensity that we saw in Game 3 last year. As I said, the Munster v Cleary battle for me is going to be massive. Those two with a lot to play for. Cleary to really have that big Origin moment in a decider to win New South Wales the series, or Cameron Munster to have a big moment following the death of his father, playing for more than state pride. I think that's going to be a big, big battle in this one, and it's going to go a long way to who wins this game. For me, I've got New South Wales. I can't go against my state here. I think that they get the job done. I think it's going to be a super tight game. Could even be decided by a field goal. That's how tight I reckon it's going to be and how close I reckon it's going to be. For me, it is going to be New South Wales to win. Nathan Cleary, man of the match. I think that he is in for his big moment, and I cannot wait to see it in this game. So Nathan Cleary, man of the match with the Blues to win 1-12 is probably going to be my multi for this one. Let's get it up here and have a look. State of Origin Game 3. Let's go New South Wales 1 to 12 at $2.80 with Nathan Cleary to be the man of the match. Where are the man of the match markets? Cannot find them. Let's just go with the try scorer. Let's go with the try scorer first as well anyway. I am going to go with... Brian Toto did score 3 tries in the last one. You'd have to throw him in there for me. So Brian Toto to score a try. And then man of the match... Where are we? Player of the match, Nathan Cleary at $5.50. He's the favourite for man of the match in this one as well. $16.75. You got New South Wales 1 to 12. Brian Toto anytime. Cleary man of the match, $16.75. Prices subject to change, but make sure you do gamble responsibly. There you go, guys. That's your State of Origin preview for the decider. We'll be out there, so make sure if you are there, reach out. We'll see you guys in the next one.